Welcome to the premiere episode of Debatable. I'm your host, Jared Petty, and in the next half hour, we're going to create the definitive list of the top 10 90s comedies of all time. Right now, your guest, to my left, your right. Sir, who are you?
My name is Josh Macuga, and I am the definitive maker of lists, and this you know. I'm one of the greatest list maker of all time.
And next to him?
Yeah, exactly. Shut up. My name's Greg Miller, everybody. Trending gamer. You might remember that. Also, I'm the guy who was screwed out of Josh Pretty at Extra Life by Josh Macuga, and I'm back for blood.
And now they're back for blood. So, here, we're going to be creating a list on the fly. It's a weird concept. Don't worry, we'll help you get our head around it. But first, I want to make sure that you know what's coming. First and foremost, Debatable doesn't happen without your support. So head over to patreon.com/kindafunny and become a member today. Why? Because if you're a bronze member, you can play along. You'll have the chance to be a part of the show, just like Tom Bach and Snowbike Mike are today, which is pretty exciting. That's right. There are other opportunities as well. We'll tell you more about that, but I think we just need to get straight on into the game. Gentlemen, our sponsors today, MeUndies, Quip, and Slack. Tell you more about that later. Let's begin. Since this is our first episode, we're going very quickly over the rules. In 5 rounds of debate, we're going to determine the top 10 90s comedies of all time. Every pick that our contestants make lands above or below the pick before. I am the ultimate arbiter and judge of these picks. These gentlemen, however, will be making passionate pleas for each of their favorites. And once that list is created, we're going to mess it up. Let's get right to that with round 1, the great debate. Our guest goes first. So Josh, please present your first nominee.
Show me what it's all about, LA.
We're crossing legs, are we? Yeah. Well, this suit was once owned by a very famous Los Angeles television actor, and I currently own it now. It
What's
was
his name?
worn Jeremy Piven.
No way, really? How did you get this?
Why do you have Jeremy Piven's suit?
Well, you know, it was handed to me by one of his minions.
Okay.
That it would fit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you use like a dessert scraper to get the sweat off and create a clone of Jeremy Piven to keep in your house?
That's mostly what I was going with. On
All
this
right,
one.
excellent.
Yeah. Now, I could start with a Jeremy Piven classic like APCU, but unfortunately for Jeremy Piven, I'm going with probably my favorite 90s comedy of all time, and maybe my favorite comedy of all time, which is Office Space. A Ron Livingston vehicle of perfection. Mike Judge, one of the greatest comedy minds of our time. I'm uncrossing my legs and I'm going left. That's really uncomfortable. Ron Livingston, Jennifer Aniston, and a Mike Judge directed movie with some of the most quotable scenes. It is not a laugh out loud a minute comedy.
Well, that's what I want in a comedy, one I don't laugh out loud at.
It is one of the most subtly smart laugh out loud comedies because what you can do after Office Space is quote it from years to come. And it's not just for comedy idiots like us that don't per se work in an office. It's for those people out there that do work in an office, for us to think that that's what working in an office is like.
I'm going to hop right in here. Josh, you say it's quotable. Let's hear a quote.
And it's a map with conclusions on it that you can jump to.
Yeah, use that one everyday life.
That's the one you go. Everyday of the life right there. Counterpoint, Mr. Miller.
Bob, listen. Is that Smikowski? Not a jot. It's not too hard. Michael Bolton?
Okay.
It's not. You can just call me Mike.
Yeah, it's a good film. I enjoy that motion picture. Greg, your retort. Right now, Office Space is right smack in the middle of the list at number 5.
What are you, an open micer?
I'm sorry, I'm a professional. Yeah. All right, because of course, Office Space, a decent movie.
Decent.
Overrated for sure. I'd say just about any one of these other 30 movies I back would be a little bit better.
A small peanut gallery and his big ass.
Let's start this list off right, ladies and gentlemen, with the classics. Tommy Boy. Tommy Boy is a way better comedy than one Office Space. Thank you very much. And might I say, Jared, you're looking lovely today.
Well, I think I am as well, too. The Wilton Fisk look really suits me.
Right? Exactly. And that's what I was thinking, too. Oh, shush up with your Jeremy Piven's job. What I want to say about Tommy Boy is this. We got David Spade. You got Chris Farley. Brian Dennehy. You have one of the movies that I would say is perfect. It is a perfect comedy. And it's not for people like Josh, Jared, not people like you and me. Josh in his ivory tower looking for his smart LA comedies. You know
ivory tower? What tower is barely reused brick with a soft cast?
Well, you're over here talking about Office Space and how great it is. We don't laugh at it, but it's hilarious. Tommy Boy, you're belly aching laughing at. He's falling through tables. Tommy Want Wingy, the 2x4 bit. Rob Lowe, by the way. Rob Lowe coming out of retirement swinging.
interjecting right here, ladies and gentlemen, to be honest with you, I don't particularly like Tommy Boy, but the fact of the matter is, you just out-debated Josh on that one. Tommy Boy
we'll see
going
you next week, everybody.
above Office Space on the list. Why? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, but jumping to conclusions.
What a quote.
That was kind of a weak quote.
What a great quote, everybody.
Listen, was I ready for the quote? I wasn't. Hey, Peterman, check out Channel 9. Check out this chick.
You might get a
You
chance
blew
to
it
come
away.
back. You know what? You might get a chance to come back.
Where is that
There's
coming
something
from?
beeping in this room.
Is that the end of the round?
Wow, I guess that's just one of our pre-configured sound
What
effects.
is going on? What is beeping, Kevin?
I wouldn't mention it, but it's still going off. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a timer that Kevin set before the show. Imagine that. Kevin screwed up something kind of funny.
And
Poor
here's
guy.
what I want to say, of course. As we've already decided, Office Space, dead last on the list, where it will belong in the rest of the show.
I don't agree with that.
I mean, are these the rules of the game?
No.
Have you ever
Not at all.
have you ever met a person that doesn't, when they hear the term Office Space, think to themselves, you know what? That's a pretty freaking funny movie.
It was a funny movie.
Yeah.
It was one of the best
Is
comedies.
it?
Here's all I was driving at. Is you're stupid.
Okay.
2 chicks at the same time. That's all. That's the line.
Stopping right here, cutting it off because it's your chance to come back right now.
Okay.
All right, here we go. So we got Tommy Boy above Office Space. Give me another one.
All right. This is a movie that I sat in the theater 3 times in a row. I hid in the theater. I went to the bathroom after the first viewing, went back to watch this, and then came back a 3rd time because I love this movie so much.
You're talking 3 consecutive viewings in one day.
In one day, and that is Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. Ace Ventura: Pet Detective not only took Jim Carrey from a TV star in Living Color, it took him to the absolute biggest movie star in comedy movie star. It changed the comedy game. Jim Carrey wasn't just he wasn't just Jim Carrey acting Jim Carrey. He was Ace Ventura. Did he do some Ace Ventura-y stuff later in his career? Sure. He was but the Ace Ventura character is quintessential. And Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls is still a great movie. There's parts that are whatever. But Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, it is a genius idea with a genius cameo from a person that shouldn't act in one Dan Marino.
Dan Marino, yeah.
Courtney Cox, she was Dancing in the Dark, then she went straight to Friends. I know I went Jennifer Aniston to Courtney Cox. I will get away from the Friends train eventually, I
figure like
you.
some Romeo and Michelle's like coming up here soon.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's...
But does your friend have a name, or shall I call him lawyer? I am the Dolphins trainer. That is just the small part of it. Ace Ventura: Pet Detective probably set the bar until one movie, and I won't even bring it up just yet, but one movie may have taken over as funny. But Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
I like that argument, except for use of the word probably. You got to commit. You got to commit. Probably set the bar, but still, very powerful argument.
No,
Don't
I
wanna take
said
anything away
set
from
the
it, Jess.
bar until one movie may have come and probably
You made
set
it. You made it. You know what? I'm going to put Ace Ventura below Office Space.
What? Is this because of my arguments? Do you
I
not
just-
like my argument? Am I yelling?
You know
at
what?
the
You're here to
host?
appeal
I
to me.
shouldn't be.
You know
You
what?
can do what you want. Just if you want to upset the judge, that's fine.
No, I don't want to upset you.
Okay, very good. Good plan.
It's just
Greg
3
Miller.
bearded men yelling.
Jared,
at
I
each other.
appreciate how fair and balanced you're being here. All right, I
Thank
understand
you,
there's
Greg.
a lot. I'm sorry that this guest that we worked on together to get up here has clearly gone a little too far.
Yeah.
He's yelling at you. I'm not a fan of that, but I'll save that for later in his review.
Please tell me more about
I
myself.
am being bullied.
Here's what I'd like to tell you about, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Ace Ventura, okay. Another one of like, that was a thing at the time that mattered, sure. Did Jim Carrey go from being on In Living Color, right? Doing goofy bits to doing these goofy bits? Yeah, sure. It's not his best work. It got him on the map, sure.
It's not his best work.
Here's the thing, Ace Ventura acts like a guy who ate lead paint, and it's just not enjoyable to watch after a while,
Okay.
right? You know what? And how little do I respect Ace Ventura?
Is there an argument for your movie in here, Greg?
There sure is. How little I respect Ace Ventura as a comedy, I'm gonna come with my left hook, an unexpected one. Gremlins 2, the new batch.
Get the farts out of here! There is no way Gremlins 2, the new batch, deserves to be anywhere on any list ever.
Now let's talk about it from this sense, all right?
Okay.
Gremlins 2, the new batch. Not only a great funny movie.
Walk off the set. Walk away.
No. Stick with me. It definitely deserves points, not only for
Greg
being a
Miller,
really funny comedy.
Stop talking. Gremlins 2, the new batch is the top of my list now.
Stop it!
Why?
I'm ripping off my microphone. What is this?
Here's all I want you to know. Here's what you need to know about Gremlins 2, the new batch. They said in Gremlins 1, you know what we did?
Gremlin is using a bow and arrow.
There's also a gremlin made of electricity. It's hilarious.
And a bat gremlin?
Technically, it was a mogwai using a bow and arrow. I don't want to.
There's an electric. There's a bat gremlin. It gets turned into a
There's
gargoyle.
a gremlin made of fruit.
Yep.
There's an amazing performance by one John Glover from Smallville.
Gremlins
Hulk Hogan is in the theatrical cut.
Greg Miller, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I do believe I already told you that this movie was...
well, you know, Josh comes out and he's like, I don't understand how this is happening.
I'm sorry, Greg. I'm going to have to penalize you. Move Gremlins down a spot below Tommy Boy.
First of all, it's like your dad is pitching slow pitch to you at the All-Star game, okay? And you're just hitting home run after home run, and then all of a sudden I step up, and it's Greg Maddux after he's won his 3rd Cy Young. I am giving you gold, and he's like, you know what's terrible? Ace Ventura. You guys are idiots. That movie still holds
He calls you an idiot.
That's a beautiful metaphor.
Jared, he called you an idiot.
I noticed that.
Jesus.
I noticed that. Josh,
Also,
what do you got?
While he was fuming, you bumped me down, is that correct?
I did bump you down one, yeah, definitely. But not because I don't love Gremlins 2, the new batch, but just because you kept going.
Gremlins 2, the new batch.
My apologies.
It's trying to be Demolition Man with Gremlins. One of the Gremlins
You
is a
already
spider.
won the Gremlins obligation. Why are you still in
I
Gremlins?
didn't know.
Yeah, can we
Josh?
penalize him?
I didn't
I'm
know
thinking
that.
about
Move
it.
one of his things down to the last spot. Oh, right, that's all they are. They're
That's
all
true. They are
last
kinda at
spot,
the
bottom
right.
tier movies.
Josh, what do you got?
Fine. You know what? I'm pulling my rabbits, all of them.
Sure.
Dumb and Dumber is the greatest 90s comedy of all time. Okay?
Josh, I don't like Dumb and Dumber. Convince me right now.
You don't like Dumb and
I
Dumber?
don't, so convince me.
It is the hands down best buddy road trip comedy ever made. From beginning to end, it is a road trip. It starts in cars. It ends with them walking away from buses, but that's not the funny part of the movie, okay? The funny part is
Them walking around away from a bus isn't the funny part.
they walk away from Hawaiian Traffic Girls. You get it. Okay.
You know what? You've already won me over. That's going below Tommy Boy and above Gremlins 2. Right there. Dumb and Dumber. Dumb and Dumber.
But you seriously don't like Dumb and Dumber?
I really don't, actually.
It may be the most quotable movie.
Oh my
It's a-
God.
that-
you already tried to use this quote bullshit and you didn't even have a
I didn't
quote.
say
is
the
important
most
for
quotable.
comedy.
I said it's a very quotable, then I said it's ridiculously quotable, and then I said the most quotable movie of all time. Dumb and Dumber, don't tell me that every time somebody says, I already know where I'm in place, so I don't have to keep
You
arguing.
know what? You can get. You could move up or down from this.
Okay.
Anything can happen, yeah.
As soon as somebody says, "Oh, I'm going to Aspen," I mean, I don't have a lot of like uppity friends like, "Oh, I'm going to Aspen," but every time that is said, don't tell me you don't say, "I don't know, Lloyd, the French are assholes." Don't tell me you don't say it.
I don't know that quote because I saw that movie once and found it annoying and didn't watch it again.
That's Greg Miller. I'll tell you what. It's really awfully moving.
Why do you
Glad to
keep
be part of
clapping at
this.
stuff that I like?
So far, the list as it stands right now: number 1, Tommy Boy; number 2, Dumb and Dumber; number 3, Gremlins 2, the new batch; number 4, Office Space; number 5, Ace Ventura. Now, this is important because we have not explained this yet. Here's how the scoring works, gentlemen. Now we got 5 on the board. We're building the top 10 list, but our winner today will be determined by who has the most picks in the top 5 at the end. So as these get pushed down, keep in mind that you may be moving out of
But even at the
scoring
end of this round,
position.
the other rounds could make that all change.
That's right. Things could still change up because there's a lot of weird and wacky stuff going to happen.
I don't understand what Tom Bach and Snow Mike on a wheel have to do with anything.
We're going to find out soon. Greg Miller, number 6.
You talk about quotable movies.
Oh, Christ, here we
Let
go.
me read a
Gremlins
quote.
3, an old batch. What's going to...
I love Gremlins 2 so much.
Excuse me, Jared, can I have the floor, please?
Gremlins 2, the new
points.
batch, down below Office Space.
Yes.
There we
yes.
I think this quote will bring it back, Jared.
All right.
The Minneapolis Lakers moved to Los Angeles, where there are no lakes. The Oilers moved to Tennessee, where there is no oil. And the Jazz moved to Salt Lake City, where they don't allow music. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about the 1998 classic, Basketball. Matt and Trey, man, the creators of South Park, got so popular off of South Park, they were able to make their own movie in which they make their own sport. Basketball. You've seen it, of course.
I've seen it.
You're laughing thinking about it.
No, I'm laughing at how ridiculous the fact that Basketball may land in the top 10 90s comedy list. The whole movie is based upon laziness from a game that they make a lazy boy ball out of.
Let me read you the cast of characters. Trey Parker, of course. Matt Stone.
Oh,
South
great
Park,
actors.
of course.
Huge.
Then we have Kenny Squeak / Little Bitch Scolari. Yasmine Bleeth, Jenny McCarthy, Ernest Borgnine, and Robert Vaughn. All right? You want to talk about a star-studded cast made for comedy. These people were built for it. At the end of it, Jenny McCarthy sucks the silver off one of those car balls you put at the back of your truck.
I mean, if we're looking at 90s comedy flags, I'm not going to exactly put Jenny McCarthy and Yasmine Bleeth on it. But if I'm making a 90s flag, there is a special quadrant for Yasmine Bleeth because one person in every group of friends had a special thing for Yasmine Bleeth, and that person was me.
I'm glad you're on my side.
But did I love
funny
basketball?
Movie about normal Joes just like ourselves making it happen. If you didn't understand, basketball and Kind of Funny, pretty much an analog to one another.
Big fan of Matt and Trey.
Thank you.
But Greg, I'm gonna have to drop this one down a little bit because the fact is the Chrome joke completely stolen from Willie Nelson. So we're gonna move that down a little bit. Basketball down there.
First time Willie Nelson's been
I think we're gonna put basketball below Gremlins and above Ace Ventura.
Thank you.
What? Do you realize what you've done?
All right, there we go. So
that's a
Tommy Boy, Dumb and Dumber, Office Space, Gremlins 2, Basketball, Ace Ventura. That's a list so far. Josh, fix this thing. Give me another one.
You really put Ace Ventura at the bottom at this
Remember,
point?
this is a dynamic list.
He's a man of
Josh.
taste. He's
Wait,
a man
are
of
you
taste.
booing Ace Ventura or are you booing its placement?
It's the best movie ever made.
Thank you.
Should be number one.
Oh, what a
Jeez.
surprise. Josh Macuga Jr., Nick over there. Is all like, oh no, it's great.
Well, he does try to look like you, doesn't he? I had just noticed it.
Jared sucks.
Oh my gosh.
All right. I'm going to switch it up a little bit here.
All right, what you got?
Because if I didn't put this on the list, then I would be remiss. But it's a sports comedy that I laugh at consistently without it being on. I just think about it and I giggle, and that's one Happy Gilmore.
Ah.
Happy Gilmore. Now, everybody might say, Billy Madison started it all, but really and truly, if we're looking at when Adam Sandler hit the peak of his career, it is with Happy Gilmore. It made golf cool again. Don't give me Tiger Woods made golf cool. Happy Gilmore made golf cool. I saw a 60-year-old man at a driving range in Peters Township, Pennsylvania, try and run up and hit a golf ball, and he slipped and fell, and I think he got hurt. And we wouldn't have that moment in my life without one Happy Gilmore. We wouldn't have the Waterbury Open, see you there, if we didn't have Happy Gilmore. We wouldn't have the ninth green at 9. We wouldn't have Shooter McGavin. We wouldn't have Shooter's Tour. We wouldn't have the Mista, get
This
me
is
out
an
of here.
excellent argument, Josh. I'm very moved by this passionately, to the point that I'm placing Happy Gilmore at number 2, just past below Tommy Boy.
364 more days till next year's hockey season.
The list now reads Tommy Boy, Happy Gilmore, Dumb and Dumber, Office Space, Gremlins 2, the new batch, probably criminally underrated at that spot.
Thank you.
Basketball, and Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
And I don't mean to tell you how to do your job, because I'm
course
not. I just want to say, as a fellow Gremlins 2, the new batch aficionado,
Yeah.
you can move it anytime you see fit.
I
Just put
thought
it
about
out there.
that.
All right,
I could
okay.
move it. Just the way the Bat Gremlin moves with agility through the office building, or the way the Spider Gremlin climbs the walls.
Exactly. And remember how they had the flashlights that looked like
Can you
the
guys
tower
stop
themselves.
talking about this horrendous movie? It is horrendous.
What I'd like to counter here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because at no point will you hear me say anything bad about Happy Gilmore. All right. Except for the fact that Billy Madison is a better movie. A better cast
You're
of
going to have
characters.
to work really hard here, Miller.
There's a better cast of
hate
characters.
Billy Madison.
Okay, I understand that. So let's just talk it out for a second before you do anything rash with your pen. All right, let's just talk about what's happening here, all right? A better cast of characters, right? We have Billy's father, of course, played by the guy from A Christmas Story. We have Veronica Vaughn.
The guy from Christmas.
You remember, the dad from The Christmas Story. Who you thought, you're a kid, you watch Christmas Story, like, man, this movie's old.
Yeah.
Then it turns out they're all contemporary. Like, I don't know
You know
this
what?
information.
Right there, I saw Christmas Story in the theater. You're at the bottom.
That's just an insult to Adam Sandler.
Ageism. I won't tolerate it. I saw Christmas Story in the theater with my parents. We were the only 3 people there, and we all left.
Do you want Billy Madison on the list?
I mean, what do you want me to do?
on the bottom.
The dice been rolled. You know what I mean? What do you want
Tempted
me
to
do?
throw it off the list.
I mean, you didn't even get a Veronica Vaughn in there, or even a Chris Farley shout out.
No, we're done. You know, Josh, yes, you
When I
come
fell
out here.
down, I just broke
We got
my
8.
leg and had a hemorrhage in my head.
Yep.
My turn?
Yep.
Okay. Now listen, I know that Bad Boys 2 is the better movie, and it was in 2003. But Bad Boys, the original Bad Boys, it took the buddy cop mold that I felt had gotten stagnant. Lethal Weapon was a little old at that point. 48 Hours was a little old at that point. And you gave us two actors, one a comedian, one maybe the funniest actor of all time, / rapper, / singer, / Prince.
Yeah.
And put them together in the Miami PD under the watchful guise of one Michael Bay. Now, there's a lot of people nowadays that may hate Michael Bay's directing style or even his movies or even the 5 Transformers movies that he's done. But you cannot fault a man in his directorial debut making the hands down greatest buddy cop franchise ever.
Ever, you say?
Ever. And let me tell you this and why. The jokes in Bad Boys are the best jokes out of all of those movies, out of Lethal Weapon, out of 48 Hours, out of any of those. You go back, Bad Boys still holds up. And you know what? Rarely does a sequel hold up quite like Bad Boys 2.
You know what?
But Bad Boys.
Before you say anything, can I interject?
Absolutely.
I do believe we need penalty flags the rest of them. I believe this is an action movie. I don't think this is a comedy.
Make your argument quickly.
It's more focused on the action. I mean, it isn't based around, the action isn't comedic. I think if you could get away saying it's a comedic action film, if in fact the jokes were the focus and the action itself was the focus. Then I'm laughing at the action. They drove through a pie factory or something. I don't know. I'm not writing movies, but you know what I mean. This one is very much.
They drove through a rubber chicken, bang gun, whoopee cushion factory. So it's clearly a funny action movie.
I'm just putting it out there. I'm not trying to influence
Is that
you
your
at all.
counterpoint, Josh?
At any one point in the movie, when the action scenes are going on, they're both like, "Oh, they treat the action scenes with humor." At any point, there is not one point in the movie where you are taking it super, super seriously. You know, lightheartedly enough that these two buddy cops are invincible because of their humor.
I am convinced. I'm placing Bad Boys 2 in a prestigious... Bad Boys, pardon me, not Bad Boys 2. Bad Boys in a prestigious number 3 slot between Happy Gilmore and Dumb and Dumber.
Don't get comfortable there.
There we go. So, final argument before the next round when things get weird.
I believe, and I respect you, Josh.
Thanks.
You know
I
what I
respect
mean?
you
You're
too,
the better
man.
Nick. We understand that. I believe in this case you have to fight fire with fire.
Okay.
Bad Boys, an action movie with comedic elements. I'm going to go to a comedic movie with action elements called Rush Hour.
Oh.
So if we would like to talk about
Are you bringing me a Brett Ratner movie?
I am bringing you a Brett Ratner movie.
Oh, my.
But I think, let's put all that aside. Let's put all that aside and focus instead. Let's focus on Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan. Okay? Let's focus on the comedic buddy relationship between them, right? The wall. What is it good for? We all remember this. We all loved it,
Absolutely
right?
nothing.
Thank you. It's a movie that ends, right, with the bloopers, which we love because, again, it's in action. It's a comedy action flick. Sorry, my apologies. You're going through, you're doing it, you're getting through. They're yelling, never touch a black man's radio. This is where it comes from. Not to mention
I was never crazy about that joke.
the hands across the world here, all right? As we see Jackie Chan, one of the biggest actors from wherever he's from. I don't know, I just know Jackie Chan as a person.
One of the biggest actors from wherever he's
I
from?
forget where
He was a Hong Kong action
Hong
star,
Kong,
but
that's right.
It's a Chinese cinema.
What, you want me to make it up? You want me to say something? You want to say and be wrong? You want me to jump to a conclusion on my mat from that quotable movie? No, all right?
I was going to take it away,
He takes a
but then
shot
you
at
went
the
back to that and went back up there. You know what? All
Office
right.
Space Redemption right
I
there.
can't, in good conscience, give any Brett Ratner movie too much love.
Wow.
But I do think I'm going to place it above Ace Ventura: Pet
Sounds
Detective.
like
Thank
our
you,
judge
thank you.
has some preconceived
Yeah.
notions here.
Yeah. Guess what? Justice is a farce. That's right. So, ladies and gentlemen, our current top 10 list at this moment, and this is going to change, stands at number 10, Billy Madison. Number 9, Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. Number 8, Rush Hour. Number 7, Basketball. Number 6, Gremlins 2, The New Batch.
Damn it.
Criminally underrated. Number 5, Office Space. Number 4, Dumb and Dumber. Number 3, Bad Boys. Number 2, Happy Gilmore. Number 1, Tommy Boy.
Ooh, that's 4 Macugas in the top 5.
That Macuga is cooking with gas
Yeah,
after
he
a
is.
strong start, Greg Miller. But we're hardly done yet because we're about to move into the Wheel of Fate. But before we do, a word from our sponsors. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the wheel. So, if you folks are part of our bronze membership or above here at Kinda Funny, you too can take part in the show just like this week's patrons, Tom Bach and Snowbike Mike have chosen to do. How? You're going to shake things up a little bit with your own picks. Here's what's going to happen. In just a moment, our esteemed guest Josh is going to spin this very wheel.
That's right.
When he spins it, he will be representing one of our patrons. I have pre-solicited picks from these patrons for their all-time favorite 90s movies. Josh will be assigned one of these, Greg assigned the other, and then they will argue for them. Whoever argues best will interject their pick into the list and hopefully rise above the others.
I mean, I'm currently smoking you in this. It's
well, let's see how it goes then,
So
Josh.
you have nowhere else to go but down.
Yep, correct.
I'll hold the top for
Spin!
you. Oh man, nice spin. Jeez, that's how they do it in LA? There you
The
go.
wheel debates.
Come on, Tom Bach, Snowbike Mike.
Snowbike Mike! All right, Josh will play for Snowbike Mike.
I don't really have a preference. They seem both like great guys.
Aha! See how that goes. Josh, for Tom Bach, you'll be representing
No,
his...
he's Snowbike Mike. I'm
Oh,
Tom
Snowbike
Bach.
Mike, pardon me. Josh, for Snowbike Mike, you'll be representing his #1 overall pick,
Whoa.
Men in Black.
Oh my God.
Greg Miller,
Yeah.
for Tom Bach, you'll be representing his #1 overall pick, There's Something About Mary. Ladies and
Son.
gentlemen,
See you, son.
you are both representing movies that I really don't like.
Sure.
So this is your chance to make the best possible argument. The better argument will win here because I have no predisposition toward either of these movies
Fair.
except not
Fair.
liking them. Josh, you go first.
All right. Well, listen. I talked about Bad Boys. I love Will Smith. Will Smith might be one of the greatest, if not the greatest actors in the history of the world.
I agree.
And what he did in Men in Black, being joined by Tommy Lee Jones, who isn't really known for his comedic work per se, in Men in Black, kind of turned a franchise into something that we thought was like, this could be like a cool little summer fun movie, to something that everybody was talking about that summer. And to this day, they've been trying to make and are currently trying to make a Men in Black. We got this new trailer for Men in Black Legacies or whatever it is. International. They created a franchise. But what we got in the first Men in Black was the thought that, are they among us? Now, does that make funny? Does that make comedy? You wouldn't think so. But is it anything funnier than like a little pug turning into an alien? That's pretty funny.
I would
Is it
argue
a
that there are
guy-
things funnier than a pug turning into an alien, yes.
Just to interject too, remember, he didn't turn into an alien, he just was an alien.
He was inside, that's right. He was an
It was
alien.
a
yeah.
talking pug alien. It was hysterical.
Not sure if Josh
Again,
has
I
seen
feel
the
like
film.
I feel like Men in Black. Of all the moments you could have pulled from in Men in Black, I do feel that reaching for the dog might have been a misstep.
Okay. Can I try one more here?
No,
Okay.
absolutely not. Greg Miller.
Hi, Jared, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you, sir?
Great. Something about Mary.
Yeah.
This harkens back to a conversation you and I had on the Games Cast, Jared.
Uh-oh.
That even though you might not be a fan of this particular film, you
Yep.
can respect its place in history.
Yeah.
If we want to look at the cast of Something About Mary, of course, we have Ben Stiller, Cameron Diaz, Matt Dillon, and then Chris Elliott, if you remember. Now, I was a big Chris Elliott fan, am a big Chris Elliott fan, right? He seemed to be a throwaway character that came back more importantly at the end, right? And Brett Favre crossing over. And of course,
Favre.
this launched the Farley brothers' career, right?
Yeah.
This put them on the map, and it also really encapsulates what a 90s comedy is about, right? Men in Black, a fine film. I've been on the record as saying I love Men in Black. I don't know if I would pick it as my #1 comedy of all time, but I digress. Something About Mary definitively is a comedy. You see that and you know your place in time. We're saying 90s comedy. We're not saying best comedy of all time. We're talking about what encapsulates the 90s. And here we go. Jizz in her hair, it's on the poster. Really not being nice to mentally handicapped people. Like, these are themes that we look back at now, just like the old Warner Brothers cartoons, and they have a historical purpose of like, these don't represent the views of the WB when I'm talking about this cartoon thing.
Yeah.
But in this sense, our sense, but that was like what a 90s raunchy comedy was. It was the one that launched that, or not launched.
A slice of life, you would say.
Correct.
But it feels like what you're getting at here with Something About Mary is you're basically like, it was good for the 90s, but it's not a good all-time comedy. It's a good
Oh, he just made my argument.
And there we are. Well done, Josh. Thank you for putting it over the top. I appreciate that.
Mike,
you know,
can I plead to Mike into a wide camera here? Mike, I'm sorry. Your snow bike, I'm sure, is fantastic, and my argument for your Men in Black was absolutely terrible, and I apologize 100%. I should have been better. I'll be better next time.
some other picks by Snowbike Mike. Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood.
It's a funny one.
Home Alone, a few others here.
Okay.
Other picks by Mr. Tom Bach included Kingpin, which has made,
There you
and Swingers.
Worth pointing out, as you already did, Jared, and again, you're doing a great job hosting the
you're
show.
very
I
sweet.
just want to spell more things out.
Except for the parts that we had to cut out, earlier.
No, that didn't happen at all. Wink. Tom and Snowbike were picked because they're the people who've supported us the most out of any patrons. And obviously now that the show is live and the fourth's been announced and all that jazz, you're going to be able to go, patreon.com/kindafunny at the bronze membership. You put yours in there, Jared will pick it, and then we'll have random names. It won't just be two, it'll be a different name at every one.
And it could be any of those picks. And I'm very excited about that because we really do want to get more audience interaction with this show. This is just only one of the ways you can take part in the great debate and derail the process. We're going to have another one here in just a moment. But first, the list right now reads, from the top, Tommy Boy, Happy Gilmore, Bad Boys, Dumb and Dumber, Office Space, Gremlins 2, Basketball, Rush Hour, Ace Ventura, Billy Madison. But now, looking at this list, something about Mary here, I just can't stomach having two movies I hate in the top 5. So I'm afraid that Happy Gilmore going right out the window and off the list.
Off the list?
And being replaced by Something About Mary.
Are you kidding me?
Thanks, Tom Bach.
No, whoa.
Again,
whoa.
I should let you argue.
Whoa.
Dig your own grave.
Keep Happy Gilmore on there. Give me, what are the other ones? You can't get
Jared,
rid of.
he's looking at your notes and the
I was
questions.
noticing
I'd
that,
like to
yeah.
say that there should be disqualifications.
I'd like
please.
to point out that you are
All right,
challenging
fine,
the
all right,
seat
fine, all
of
right.
ultimate power.
Listen, this is you're doing a thing.
I stand atop Olympus. You sit. Excellent. All right, so we move on to our next round. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Vita Veto. Now, right now, in our top 5, you, Josh, still ahead, 3 picks. Greg Miller, 2 picks.
All right, right there. I'm in.
Well,
I'm
I
in
mean,
it.
it's one Greg pick and a Tom Bach pick.
Now, Greg,
We
that's
say
funny.
none of this is possible without
that's a,
patrons.
that's,
right?
a, that's a very good joke.
true.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I'm just saying Tom Bach's pick is clearly.
Greg, you're still
I
playing
like
from
Tom
behind.
Bach.
And because you're playing from behind, you are going to have the shot, the one shot, at our Vita Veto.
You mean like a PlayStation Vita Veto?
I do mean like a PlayStation Vita Veto. In fact, it looks just like this.
Oh.
I don't have a Vanna White, so.
No, you're
Vita.
in Vanna White.
Vita.
You're
I'm my
doing
own
great
Vanna,
too.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm a lovely fellow.
Exactly.
I'm kind of, yeah, again, I'm
Very pretty man.
I think so as well. This PlayStation Vita, no longer particularly useful for playing video games, but extremely useful for vetoing.
Okay.
Greg Miller, if
How many games
you
does the
can
Vita have?
answer this user-submitted trivia question, you'll have the opportunity to bump any one of Josh's picks down to the bottom of the list and replace it with one of your own. However, you've got to answer this question. Now, normally I said user submitted, and folks, again, at patreon.com/kindafunny, for a bronze membership, you could become the person that gives us the trivia question every week. But this week, of course, we didn't have that opportunity, this being the week of Kinda Funny 4.0, revealing all this. So we reached out to a special friend for a question. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from the magical land of the internet, our friend of the show, Mr. Devon Sawa, of Idle Hands fame, with this question for you, Greg Miller.
Okay.
Please pay attention.
Question for you. In 1999, I starred in a horror comedy called Idle Hands, alongside Jessica Alba, Vivica Fox, and Fred Willard. One of my character's best friends was played by Seth Green. My other best friend was played by an accomplished American actor who most recently played Foggy Nelson on Marvel's Daredevil Netflix series. Name the actor.
Greg Miller.
Here's what I want you to know.
Hey everybody, Devin
that I
Sauer
had
here,
a
and I
tradition.
have a
Every Halloween growing up, where we watched Idle Hands. It is one of my most quoted films when I talk about it, because Seth Green's got the great line of like, "Wait, this ain't our mess." While Red was, you know,
It's a great 90s comedy.
Exactly.
You're great at quoting movies. You're almost as good as me quoting Office Space quotes at this point.
Well, I put the cart in front of the horse. Of course, the character he's referring to, he could have just said the name, Panub. That's the name of the character
That's right,
in Idle
Panub.
Hands. And, it's one. And of course, yes, Foggy in Daredevil. I, of course, am terrible with actors' names and have no idea what his name is.
Oh, Greg Miller!
No veto!
The Vita Veto is vetoed.
Do I not get an opportunity? Or is it because I'm in the lead?
Yeah, it's because you're in the lead.
Oh, well, that's clear.
3-2.
What's his name? What's the actor's
Eldon Henson.
Oh, yeah, I knew it was a
Eldon
weird
Henson.
one. I knew it was a weird one.
I wonder,
How would
anybody
you
in the room know that?
How
Nick
would you know
Scarpino,
that?
did you know that?
Nope.
No?
I was going to say What's his name in Mighty Ducks?
Eldon Henson. What? Emilio Estevez?
No, he was in Mighty Ducks. The guy who did the knuckle puck.
Fulton.
Yeah.
No. Eldon
One of the
Henson
Batch
has
brothers.
actually
Batch
a
brothers.
superb career. His IMDb, just years and years and years of study work, doing all kinds of stuff. And most recently, Daredevil, also Jessica Jones, et al., etc.
Defenders.
But, Defenders, indeed. So, Greg Miller, you're behind 3-2. And if that were the end of the game, that would be a tragedy perhaps, but it's not. Because currently the top 10 stands at number 10, Billy Madison. Number 9, Ace Ventura. Number 8, Rush Hour. Number 7, Basketball. Number 6, Gremlins 2, The New Batch. Number 5, Office Space. Number 4, Dumb and Dumber. Number 3, Bad Boys. Number 2, Something About Mary. Number 1, Tommy Boy. We're creating that top 10 list on the fly. What a great feeling. Do you feel the excitement?
I can feel it.
I feel it.
I'm feeling it. I really do.
It all comes down to this.
It all comes down to the final countdown. It's not over yet. Each contestant is sitting on a final nominee. You have the chance to make one last argument. Now, you can choose either argue for something lower on the list you already argued to move up.
Okay.
You can choose one of your opponent's picks to move up if you want to. This is a chance to steal.
Oh, you'd steal the...
For example, Something About Mary, that was a Greg Miller pick, technically. Josh could go for it. Try to take it, move it up to number 1. But you have to make the argument for why it's that high up. That's a little bit risky. Or you can pull one out of your pocket right now that you've been saving the whole time. A pick so perfect that you know it'll trump anything else. Only one of you can win a perfect debatable victory here. Gentlemen, let's hear those picks, starting with Josh.
Well, I think it's an absolute travesty and a train wreck of a situation right now that we don't have Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery, on this list.
Woo, coming in with the big guns!
Okay, listen. Mike Myers, you had Wayne's World. It was an SNL sketch, and he jumped on the movie star map with that movie. But as soon as Austin Powers came out, and you can't blame the lame people for always saying, yeah, baby, because they put them aside. They were like when they were quoting Chappelle's show, yeah, or my wife, okay? Put those people aside. Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery, was the spoof movie to end all spoof movies. There has not been a spoof movie that has touched Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery. And as a man currently with a huge batch of chest hair
Stop
on
it
his
right
chest,
there. Very good. That looks about 60 seconds to me. Kevin, you think so? Sound about right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That sounds about right to me, too.
No, I had
didn't
60
know.
seconds.
Josh, that's your argument. You don't know because I didn't tell you, Kevin.
Yep.
Greg Miller,
You have 60 seconds.
bring out the big guns. You have 60 seconds.
Ladies and gentlemen, the film that defined a generation, American Pie. Again, you want to talk about a 90s thing. This capped it off, 1999. It took a bunch of unknown kids, put them on the grandest stage, and again, defined a generation. And you don't interrupt my 60 seconds. Defined a generation. This, of course, was our Porky's. It spawned the American Pie universe that went on longer than the Austin Powers universe. It was funnier than Austin Powers. It was raunchy. It got headlines everywhere. It launched these people's career. Would we have a loser with Jason Biggs without American Pie? No, I tell you. Would we have the amazing film American Reunion without American Pie? And that's the thing. There's a narrative thread. I've watched all these back-to-back.
Stop!
No, it's 40 seconds.
I don't care. He just referred to the amazing film American Reunion.
It's a great film.
Great film.
Shut up! I don't care if I lose more points for it. American Reunion's a great film. Everybody watch them. American Wedding, a very low point. American Reunion, back on top, baby. Whole cast was back together.
I know it may seem arbitrary, ladies and gentlemen. Again, 2 comedies not among my favorites, but both historically extraordinarily significant. However, I feel honor-bound looking at this list. I just can't imagine a list of 90s comedies that doesn't include Austin Powers in the top 10. I don't think it's possible.
Well, you can still put it in the top 10,
think
just
it's
not in the
right.
top 5. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
And I think that Austin Powers has just usurped Tommy Boy at the top.
Oh my God. Oh, that's what hurts. That's
Right
what gets
there.
you. It's not the loss. It's the fact that Jared Petty is a real son of a bitch with no taste in movies.
And so, the final list. Number 10, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. Number 9, Rush Hour. Number 8, Basketball. Number 7, Gremlins 2. Number 6, Office Space. Number 5, Dumb and Dumber. Number 4, Bad Boys. Number 3, Something About Mary. Number 2, Tommy Boy. Number 1, Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery. And the real number 1, Mr. Josh Macuga.
Jared, I can't thank you enough. Thanks for no clapping back there. What? Thank you. Thank you. It was nice playing with you.
It was you're a spirited competitor.
It was a good time.
Josh, your list, your definitive top 10, endorsed by the Kinda Funny Institute of Pop Culture and the Higher Sciences, will forever be enshrined in our Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Greg Miller, where to go off the rails?
What was that thing you always talked about wanting to go to that event? What event is that?
What event?
You tell me, the one you're always talking about.
The one I was talking about going to with you? Yeah.
I was going to give you these 2 tickets to it.
Yeah,
but
okay,
not
there.
anymore. All right? You're a hack. This show's a bunch of hacks, too. I mean, where it really
Stuck on
went
my
wrong
neck.
is that, for the record, because you got to play the game here. Happy Gilmore, what a fucking film.
Is this a leftover
kidding
ticket
me?
from the Game Awards?
Yeah.
Why didn't you give me the Game
Gremlins 2
Awards?
was a bold choice and it paid off. It paid off and got it on the list. It was high for a while.
Gremlins 2 is one of the worst movies I have ever watched in my life.
I'm going to take your victory away.
How
You
many
behave.
times have you seen it? You know what I mean?
Like 4 times.
Say I haven't
Gremlins
seen
2
it
is
enough.
great.
You don't get it. It's top level humor. It went from
No,
being a horror
I-
movie to be a comedy seamlessly.
No, that's
that
Key-
makes fun of itself.
It depends on what you look at as scenes.
It gave us the Key and Peele sketch about,
Yeah, about
making
Gremlins 2.
Gremlins 2, and that alone justifies its existence. That movie, I love it
I fall in
so
the same camp
very
as I
much.
don't like Something About Mary.
Yeah.
I had to argue, you know what I mean?
It's
I'm not
funny. It's a funny movie, but it's not funnier than Happy Gilmore.
No.
It's not funnier than Tommy Boy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not funnier than Austin Powers. It's not funnier than Office Space. It's not funnier than Ace Ventura. It's definitely not funnier than Dumb and Dumber.
Now,
I
just
memorized that
to,
guy from Idle Hands' fucking name.
now to indulge myself for a second. By the way, your list of the top 10 90s comedies contained precisely one movie that made my list. So the Jared
liked it.
top 10 from the bottom up. Number 10, Aladdin. Yeah, which is
Well, it's
one
not
of
a
the
comedy. It's a cartoon.
funniest. It's a fantastic. That is Robin Williams at the height of his powers. Number 9, Army of Darkness. Number 8, Clerks. I think it's historically
Yeah,
significant.
no,
Pretty funny.
as we feel out Debatable, Clerks is on my list, but I didn't know. I didn't think it was a good counterpoint as somebody like
I honestly
the new
sometimes-
batches.
There
You know
were.
what I'm saying?
I kind of wish that we had points of Mallrats in Clerks, because put those 2 movies together,
Yeah.
you may have like a perfect.
I agree. Clerks has a lot of problems, but it's so important.
Keep
that it
rolling.
really
What's your
works.
list?
Number 7, As Good as It Gets. Number 6, South Park.
Yeah, that was
that's
on there
great.
too. I had that too.
Number 5, Toy Story. A lot of these are animated, but they're great animated comedies.
There's a soul inside that man.
Office Space is number 4. Number 3, and I'll argue hard, this is a comedy, Fargo.
No.
Yeah, Fargo's hilarious.
Coen Brothers
Tragedy.
dark comedy.
Number 2, The Big Lebowski. How in the world did not come up?
It's not that
It's
funny.
not funny.
And number 1, the funniest movie I've ever watched in any decade.
Ghostbusters didn't come out.
Groundhog Day.
See, I had Groundhog Day in there too.
Groundhog Day was on my
Yeah,
list.
yeah, yeah.
I felt a trend of where it was going.
The
and-
perfect movie. The perfect
it's a good
motion
movie.
picture. I love
It's a
Groundhog
great
Day.
movie. Good.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the premiere episode of Debatable. If you want to be a part of what happens next week, you quite possibly can by going to patreon.com/kindafunny, become a bronze member or above, support what we do here, help us make all kinds of marvelous shows that you can watch across the Kinda Funny network, and also over there with our friends at Kinda Funny Games. Josh, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
our
It's a
first guest. It
pleasure.
means a
Thank
lot
you,
that you're willing
guys.
to come out here.
Oh.
Greg Miller, thanks for being a good loser. I really
All
appreciate
right,
it.
fuck you.
Yeah.
Next week I'm back. We'll see what happens.
See you next time? All right, see you next time, friends. 1 week from now. Bye-bye.